YouTube viewers, Rectangular back, this time with another review. Here we have the Captain America, the Winter Soldier Infinite Series Winter Soldier. So it's kind of redundant. It's from the Winter Soldier movie, and this is the Winter Soldier figure. And I was lucky enough to snag this guy at Target. I live in California, and I know that they've been showing up all over the state at Kmart, Target, and Toys R Us. So unfortunately they did not have the Black Widow, so I just grabbed this guy, and all familiar with the packaging by now. There he is without showing his weapons or the leg of Mandroid. And unfortunately we all know that he comes in the wave with Black Widow, Captain America, Baron Zemo, and Red Skull. Now, it is possible they might have a change in the case assortment when they do a refresh wave, where we will get the Hydra Soldier and the AIM Soldier in place of the Red Skull and Baron Zemo, but it looks like this initial release is only coming with Red Skull and Zemo, and that's what they had on the pegs at my Kmart. Alright, so that's the back of the package, and yeah, nothing too extraordinary there. We already know what he's all about. Let's go ahead and pop him out of the package and take a closer look. So very quickly I'll go over the accessories that he comes with. He is included with the left leg of Mandroid. Nothing real special to see here. Pretty much the same thing that we saw on the Ironmonger Build-A-Figure. You know, it does have a ball joint, so it does have ankle articulation. Pretty nice. Nothing special in the way of paint. And then he comes with this same rifle that the Hydra Soldier comes with, just with a red and black paint scheme. And fortunately mine is pretty straight out of the package, so that's always nice to see, even though I don't think I'll ever use this for Winter Soldier. And let's get into the figure itself. Alright, here we've got the figure out of the package, and I must say, pretty impressed. I wasn't too sure about some of the articulation or the sculpt on it, but I'm pretty happy. The joints are all pretty stiff except for the elbow on his left arm is a little bit on the loose side, but otherwise very stiff joints in the shoulders and arms, and the neck peg was very hard to move. Now he does have limited articulation because of the hair. It's going to be in the way, but you can move the peg pretty far back, but the hair is going to be what's getting in the way. So you can fudge it, I guess. If maybe you pop the head off the peg, you can probably make it work like that, but the hair is going to be in the way. So let's see, let's get in with the sculpt. So he does come with a alternate head, the unmasked head, which it's okay. Don't know how much likeness he's going to have to the actor in the movie. Everybody should know already that, spoilers, Bucky is the Winter Soldier, and you saw him in the first Captain America movie get fall off the train, and you know, we presume he plunges to his death, but comic book fans know that that's not the case. So looked at the other figure on the pegs, and this one has slightly better eye paint than the other one that was in the case, so that's the reason I grabbed it. But pretty much, you know, it's basically like a spray paint effect on the face. And yeah, nothing else special about it. And there's no shading in the hair. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is about that head. And the mask on this one does have brown. It's just really dark brown on the sides, and then the rest of it is black. So I think it looks cool. Again, no shading in the hair. It's all just solid brown plastic. It does have some shading in the top, at least on the arms. There's some black that's washed in, so that's nice. The paint and the sculpt turned out really nice on these spare rounds on his arm, on his right arm here. He's got, I don't know, some sort of, doesn't quite look like a knife. I don't know, I think maybe it's supposed to be a flashlight or something sculpted on the arm here. And let's see, did a really good job on the star there on his left shoulder. Let's see what else. He's got nice little gloves with the holes put in there for the knuckles, like that. Let's see what else here. Guess working our way down, this strap, this harness does remove. It's got a little peg on it, so you can remove this harness on the front. So this is going to be really nice to pick up for customs, to use for like Deadpool or other Captain America figures probably. So I like that. I like when you can remove stuff. The belt, all solid brown plastic, no shading on it. There's a little sculpted knife that is not removable on the back. You can see the little handle there. And the belt is not removable. The only paint on it really, I think there's a little bit of paint on the buckles on the front there. It's very muted silver, and there's a little silver, looks like a knife with a like a wrench hole in the handle there, and that's the only other paint on it. It's kind of like a very light silver wash on that. And like I said, this doesn't appear to be removable without breaking it. Doesn't look like he has another belt underneath. Now let's get into the, oh well, let's I guess go over the sculpt on the lower half. There's no pockets really, just padded pants. They're kind of like parachute pants, and no pockets on the legs, but some really nice sculpting detail. No shading. It does have some pretty cool knee pads, and the boots are basically the same color as the belt and the harness. So there is a little bit of paint variation. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but the harness is a little bit more of a purple color, and then the chest piece is brown with a little bit of black washed in, and the pants are basically like charcoal. Unfortunately the hair does need a wash in it so that it doesn't look, the browns are all too similar in my opinion. I think the whatever this is, this little sheath and the boots and the hair are a little too similar in color. This strap thing is they're all these three things are the same color. And the hair is a little bit too close to those. So it does have nice, you know, ankle rocker all the way, side to side articulation there, but the sculpt is protruding a little bit. Maybe you can see that at the top here. See how the sculpt is kind of hanging down, so when you try to move the boot back, it doesn't want to move any further. You know, he can point his toe forward pretty well, but moving back, you're pretty much stuck at a 90-degree angle there, so that's a little bit disappointing. I'm sure I can probably shave that back a little bit with my Dremel. So let's get into the articulation. Like I said, the head is on the standard ball disc that we're used to now. So looking back is okay. It does pop off pretty easy because of the hair, but he does look down really well. So I like that. And sorry, it's stiff. And we got the standard ball jointed shoulders and bicep swivel, both arms obviously, double jointed elbows, so the sculpt does not hinder it too much. You can get pretty tight there. This arm feels a little bit on the rubbery side. I'm kind of afraid to mess with it too much without breaking it. It's a softer plastic, so don't want to torque it too much. It does feel really loose, like it needs to be pinched down. And nice ab crunch finally on Winter Soldier. Been locking that. Doesn't really go back at all, just down, which is fine with me. I'd rather have it go, especially for a non-flying character. I'd much rather have him crunch forward than crunch back. And obviously waist swivel. Oh, the hands. He does have a wrist hinge on both hands. The articulation is a little bit impeded, and these are kind of rubbery hands by the sculpt of the jacket, but he can flex all the way back and almost pretty much all the way forward, so that's nice. Pretty the same on this hand. It's a little bit harder to manipulate. Don't know if it's just because my figure is so fresh out of the package and I haven't been able to manipulate it very much, but just don't feel too confident moving it back and forth. It does have a hinge in there, but the sculpt is kind of limiting it, and also just not very confident about breakage factor there. Now he does have the same hinged hip sockets that we're used to now in all the new Legends, but the sculpt, even though it is nice and well sculpted, it doesn't impede the articulation, so I like that. Pretty good range of motion there off to the side, and knees double jointed obviously, so that's very good. And I already went over the ankles with the sculpt situation, so very, very cool. It's nice to have a much better articulated figure than the 2-pack version that we had from Hasbro previously, which I will compare him to now. So here he is next to the original 2-pack Winter Soldier from Hasbro that came with Black Widow. And this is the sculpt that we've been waiting to get rid of, that they've just overused with the ab joint and no ab crunch. So it's not a bad figure, but no ankle. He's got a ankle rotation, but no pivot. And this one does have a pistol, unlike the new one. So they both have their pros and cons, but I think this new one is a huge improvement. And obviously it's a movie figure. Doesn't look like we're going to get another Winter Soldier. So let's do another comparison. And here he is next to the Bucky cap version with the 2-pack head on him, just so you can see the short-haired version of Bucky as well. And pretty similar in height. I think the new figure is a little bit taller than this Bucky with the 2-pack head on him. I do like the fact that the feet are nice and big on the new movie version. The feet on the old Bucky seem awful small to me. But yeah, it gives you a good comparison since pretty much all the new Legends are based on this Bucky cap mold. One thing I did want to go over is that he is designed to hold this gun with a huge handle. So when you try to put a smaller gun in his hand, you can make it work, but it looks really small. His hand looks huge, and it just looks tiny in comparison. It just looks awful small. So, and you know, it just kind of sits in there pretty loose. You know, fortunately, he's got that nice big trigger finger to be able to get it in there. And we'll do one more comparison. And here we have the modern version of Bucky with his old original World War II self. Actually, he was still appearing in the comics in the 60s, and I think even might have been the early 70s. I think it was actually just the late 60s in that original costume. So he's actually about the same height. Yeah, I think if he is standing up a little bit taller, there we go. He's just a little bit taller than his teenage version self. But yeah, that Bucky from the Brood wave is pretty terrible for the most part. He's got nice hand articulation and toe articulation, but otherwise not a great figure. Alright. Hopefully you liked the review. You hit the like button. You share with your friends. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And I love hearing back from you guys, so please leave a comment below. Alright, thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.